we are very pleased and glad to have as our special guest on the show the ukulele playing doctor who has overcome adversities to become a very successful physician. His name is Dr. Tony Trpkovski. Aloha and welcome, Doctor.
Aloha. Thank you for having me on the show.
Dr. T, you have an amazing story about overcoming obstacles to get to where you are today. Share with us a little bit about that.
Well, it goes back to my country of origin. At that time was Yugoslavia, but my parents were from Macedonia, and they came independently in the 60s to the United States. They were looking for a better way of life and hoping that they could start a family there with better opportunities. So when they arrived, they had some obstacles themselves they had to overcome, but my parents met in the United States. And then I was born. I was the first person from my family born in the United States. And that was great, and they were happy. At first, my family spoke only Macedonian, and then I had to learn English. So my first language was my native tongue of Macedonian. And then English became my second tongue, and then I think I mastered English. But my parents made it very important for us to get an education because unfortunately they did not have those opportunities. My father had a 6th grade education, my mom a 7th grade education. And so I was the first to finish high school, let alone college, in my family.
That's amazing. And they must have been incredibly proud of you because you're the first one who, not only did you get an education, but you became a physician.
Yeah, they're really proud of myself and my brother. My brother's an engineer. He lives on Big Island. And then I was so driven to be successful because of my parents.
Yeah. And also they had difficulties, you mentioned,
Sure.
because of the language.
Of course. So I was kind of like their median between them and America because there were a lot of things they didn't understand. I had to help them early as a child. Certain things my parents couldn't understand when they had certain letters or certain things in the mail, so I was their advocate.
After you went to college and became a doctor, you worked at several medical institutions.
Yeah, I began my career in Dayton, Ohio, where I finished residency, and then from there I moved to Florida, where I was almost for 10 years. And I was really successful there, but I wanted the true paradise. And when I came to Hawaii on vacation, I said, wow, this is really nice. So I did everything possible to get myself the kid out here, and I started my career in Hawaii, here in Kauai. I was working in Kapa'a. And then I had a really good practice. I was really happy there. I had twice that year I became best physician on Kauai. And I worked for the same company that I was working for on Kauai, which was Hawaii Pacific Health, but then I decided about 8 months ago, to open our own practice with my partner, Dr. Alan Wu, Doctors of Waikiki.
Dr. T, what inspires you?
I always want to learn and push myself to my limits, both physically, mentally.
Dr. T, in addition to being an accomplished doctor, you also are known as a ukulele doctor. Give us a sample.
So I played guitar since I was a kid, and then when I moved here, I saw the ukulele. It's so cute. I said, "Oh, I love it." So I'm going to learn this. And so I used to play all the time because I used to live close to the KITV building, and I'd walk to work and play my ukulele, and they saw me, and then they did a little thing on me, and then I got known then as Dr. Ukulele.
There you go.
But I take the ukulele to work all the time, and I still take it to work. Here's just a little quick thing.
Dr. T, what is your mission at Doctors of Waikiki?
My mission and purpose is to help both the local community, because there's really not that many physicians in the Waikiki area, and focus on them and the tourists that come to us that we're so blessed to have that help our economy and our situation here in Hawaii.
And people actually, when they get in an ambulance and they go to the hospital, that costs a lot of money.
Correct.
And especially if it's not something serious. Of course, when it is, it's needed. But you also, I was told, have a mission of wanting to save people money on their health care costs.
Well, what we're trying to do is treat them as much as we can in our facility without having them go to the ER, because we're like a mini emergency room in aspect. So cost, ER versus our clinic, big difference, maybe 10 times difference.
When you start a business, there must be difficulties as well. But then tell us about the fulfillment that you have opening this urgent care clinic.
Well, I'm very fortunate to have a good partner. Dr. Wu and I get along very well, and we're able to change things as we see fit, which is better than when you work in a larger corporation. It's a lot more complicated. And when it's a small organization, we see something, we can implement it right away. It's difficult because you have to manage, we have 35 employees, we have to manage them, we have to manage the facility, ordering, buying things, working, seeing patients, all that. We do all that ourselves.
Now, the majority of your patients, correct me if I'm wrong, are tourists, visitors.
Yeah, majority of tourists, I'd say 70% are tourists, 30% are locals.
Doctor, what can people do to stay healthy? What's your advice?
If people want to be healthy, this is all they have to do. They have to exercise 4 times a week, over half an hour at each interval. If people would do that, there'd be so much less diabetes, hypertension, all these other health problems. Even emotional disorders are helped by exercise. You live longer, no Alzheimer's maybe even, if you're lucky. They did a study and they looked at all the bad things people do: smoking, overeating, drinking. The worst is not exercising. So we should incorporate exercise just like we brush our teeth and take a shower every day. Exercise needs to be incorporated in our daily lives.
Dr. T, we understand that you have a novel way of transporting patients to your clinic.
Luckily, we bought a Tesla Model X that's logoed out with Doctors of Waikiki, and we actually go to their hotels and pick them up and bring them back.
In closing, if people want to get in touch with you, can you share with us your website?
Yes, doctorsofwaikiki.com, very simple. The name of the business.com.
And how about closing us out with a little bit of music?
All right, one more song. Yeah! Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to meet you. I hope to see you again.
Yes, please, not at the clinic though.